Now. Hey everybody, this is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for joining us for our very first happy hour live stream of 2020. 2020. Did I say it right or did I say 2002 because I'm old and stupid?
You said 2020.
All right. Happy meal for me. So anyway, thanks for joining us. With me, as always, is Chris to my left, your right, which is this is the second week in a row we've done it backwards. No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
So weird.
And Mrs. Toast is looking at your questions and comments and hanging out. And her friend Karen is here with us. And so we're just going to have a lot of fun today because we've got a great topic that we're going to get to. We've got some Patreon questions about said topic. So let's jump right in with how we normally do this. Chris, what a week. I know I say that every single week, but we started out, we went to a party on New Year's Day because New Year's Eve is for amateurs. So we didn't go to that.
Which was Wednesday.
What the
party.
New Year's Day was Wednesday. So we took a day off from working in the shop on Wednesday and we went and ate chili and drank beer. And I'm really old and I either ate too much, drank too much, or all of the above. And I'm too old. And I was in bed at 7 o'clock at night.
And I got an injury from leaning against the counter.
I remember
the next day
when
I got up
an injury from leaning.
And I had this sore spot on my hip. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And then later I leaned up against something else, like in my kitchen or something. I went, it's from leaning against the counter all day.
Yep.
Which was all day. Yeah.
Which was all day.
Brett needs more chairs.
Yeah.
I think I recall having that same thing last year.
You're old.
You know what? Chris is getting older, like we all are, but his birthday is in
the 17th?
12 days?
Today's the 4th, right?
5th.
The 5th.
Oh, man, it's
5th,
going
dude.
fast.
It's going by fast.
You're one day closer to death.
2
Yep.
weeks, yeah.
Yep.
Older than you've ever been.
No, you're even older.
So anyway, what's been going on in the shop that you're excited about? We had a cool reveal.
Yeah.
Where you and I tried to play left-handed. That didn't work at all.
And it mixed me up during that. It mixed me up all night long. Everything I did, I felt backwards.
You're like Lionel Richie. All night long.
Oh, I thought Dancing on the Ceiling.
Oh, that's a good song too.
No, Lionel Richie really sucks without the rest of the Commodores.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
gonna throw that out
There you go. So that's what Carrie Ann thinks about Lionel Richie. And yesterday, now we don't have a reveal video for this one, but
Reveal.
our good friend Chris Ernst, who looks suspiciously a lot like Rob Zombie, his wife commissioned a top secret guitar for him. And this was months and months and months ago, and he had no idea. And they came by yesterday to pick it up, and it was very well received. It was, we have the Daily Driver, which is our version of the Telecaster. And he wanted what we call the Sunday Driver, which is our version of the Stratocaster. I don't know why I call it those, but I do. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so
hopefully he uses it more than just Sundays.
yeah, I think you can use it all you want, but yeah. So, but it just sounds funny to me. So, so he came and picked that up, and we sat around all day yesterday drinking. And speaking of New Year's resolutions, I think I need to throttle it back a little bit.
You guys drank all day. I went and painted.
Oh, that's right. You were at the undisclosed
So
location
you were
doing
huffing
paint.
paint? Like that makes you better? You think you're better than me?
Well, it's a different buzz. No, I have a mask. I'm smart about it.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite things that happened this week, Chris?
It was kind of a short week, and
Yeah.
I don't know. We got that done. We did the upside down guitar reveal and got that one finally done. After much consternation.
Ooh, that's a big word.
It is a big word. I don't even know what it means, but I know where it fits.
Are you excited for this Friday's reveal?
Yes.
I am too, because it's kind of an off the reservation thing for us. It's not a guitar that we built.
Oh.
It's a guitar that we refinished.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a neat one. I
Yeah,
think.
that'll be fun. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it's a special refinishing
Uh-huh.
thing. So
We fired up the new pin router this week, or was that
That's-
last week?
I'm
I'm
naming that pin router Ginger
I-
because she looks good, but she's really not.
the pin router was last week because we did that when Brett was here for his reveal.
Reveal.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had a
okay.
neck that we did the
That's
truss rod
right. Yeah.
on.
Okay.
But it's all kind of that was anyway. So
Yeah. I made a pick guard today.
Ooh. We have some new guys who are renting shop space from us that started today because it's first of the year. They wanted to start working on their guitars. And that's the thing. Not everyone knows this, but you can rent shop space here at Texas Toast. You can rent a table every day, every week, every month, whatever you want. We can, by the hour, by the month, any way you want to do it.
The designated driver.
The designated driver. That's
Somebody
okay.
said DUI driver.
Yeah, that's
The
a
daily
bicycle.
drunk driver.
Those were some guitars that somebody made.
The daily drunk driver. So, because it's New Year's, and even though it's the 5th, I've been posting this a lot on everyone's, anywhere I can post it. Now is the accepted time to make all your regular annual good resolutions. Next week, you can begin paving the way to hell with them. That's a Mark Twain quote. Samuel
Sort of.
Clemens. So yeah. Anyway, what are your New Year's resolutions?
Just the regular resolutions.
Look good naked.
Yeah.
Make $100 million.
Yeah.
Eat better.
Uh-huh.
Sleep more.
Play guitar
Sleep
more.
faster. Okay.
Sleep faster.
That's my New Year's resolution. Sleep faster.
Uh-huh. Stop wasting so much time on the internet.
That's kind of a thing. One of the things that I'm doing now is in the mornings, I'm not spending unlimited time answering emails and responding to YouTube video comments. I'm spending an hour every day doing that. So if I don't get to your comments on YouTube right away, rest assured that I will eventually get to them, but I'm only spending an hour a day doing them. So if yours comes at minute 59 and you'll be the first tomorrow. Does that make sense? Unless there's a bunch of new ones. So it might take a while, but I try to respond to everyone's YouTube comments because I really appreciate everybody's YouTube support. If it wasn't for the YouTube guys, there'd be no shop, just like we say. So
Yep.
So yeah, I'm trying to get up earlier basically and start. I want on my deathbed. I want to say, I wish I would have worked harder, and then that'll just be that. What do you think? Okay, Mrs. Toast, what are your New Year's resolutions?
Well, I already look really fucking good naked. so-
Okay, all right.
What's there to change? I'm kind of perfect the way I am.
Well, there you go. Karen, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
That beer's not going to drink itself.
That beer's not. That's right.
It's more of a
You
a
can't
mission
drink all day
statement.
if you don't start early.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Certainly before noon.
Everybody's got to believe in something. I believe I'll have another beer. Okay. All right.
There's a question that's been asked twice already.
Well, let's get to it then.
And it's by Billy B and Blues.
Billy Blues.
What the fuck is a tenon?
Okay, a tenon. A tenon is a joint. Now, just because I'm in Colorado doesn't mean it's that kind of joint.
But it could be.
So it is typically found a mortise and tenon. And the mortise is the female, if you will, and the tenon is the male portion that interacts with that. So it's a way to join for the purposes of this conversation, it is a way to join a neck to a body. Not all necks have a mortise and tenon. A mortise and tenon is, generally speaking, a straight piece that goes into a straight piece. So like a Fender neck is kind of a wedge shape, but a Gibson style neck that you might find on a Les Paul or an SG or an Explorer or a Flying V is a tenon shape. You want to vamp for a little while and I'll find one? Or you want to find one and I'll vamp for a little while? So so in one of those boxes over there, Chris, there is a Gibson. I can see the mortise cut out.
Okay.
Keep going.
And then
And
there was a time.
Well, Driddle offers up
Okay.
an answer to the question of what's tenon. He said it's about $100. Is that the upcharge for a tenon?
No, for a 10 on.
Hi,
10
Andy the
10.
Saint.
Huh?
Andy the Saint.
Andy's joining us. So this is the routing template for a Gibson style mortise. Now, you see here, there is this outline here is the humbucking pickup. This is for a Flying V, and the mortise goes into the body through the pickup, and all that stuff gets covered up by the pick guard. This is the piece what interacts with it, and it goes a little like this. This is the tenon, and it interacts with the mortise.
It's not the 11 off.
No, I don't know it.
Not
I don't know.
11 on.
No. So anyway, so I hope that answers your
12
question about
on?
what is a tenon.
Okay, so here's a question about classes.
Okay.
And it's Steven Saba.
Okay.
I think that's right.
If we're mispronouncing your name, we definitely apologize.
Yeah, you can beat me later. But it's will your classes be a week, a weekend, divided into construction, electronics, finish, Turner LB model copy?
That's a
with
great,
shelf?
yeah. Okay, I got it. That's a great question, and so glad you asked. I'm actually was working on class information today that will be posted on the website. We will have week-long classes that will cover, build your own guitar. And we'll also have weekend classes if you want to come out. If you're in the Denver area and you want to come out for a weekend, we'll have a bodybuilding class. Actually, it will be a guitar body construction class. That'll be one day. And then we'll have a guitar neck construction class. That'll be 2 days the following week. And it'll be a way to, if you guys want to break it up into, a couple of weekends, you can do that. Or if you just want to build a neck or if you just want to build a body, you can do that. Or if you want to come spend a whole week with us, we can do that too. So check the website. Coming up probably in the next week or so, we're going to have way more information. What are you looking at? Way more information about classes and new verbiage and maybe some pictures too. Sound good? What?
Oh, somebody
Sounds good
said
to me.
something
Chris is
about-
like, yeah, do I have to do anything?
No, so I don't know. Somebody said something about the flying V, and I'm like, hey, flying Y. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
somebody else chimed in. Oh, that reminds me of high school health class or something.
So we have.
Yeah, that was Matt's muscle guy
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a
We got a
question that
$5
somebody paid
question.
$5 to ask.
Yeah.
Let's answer that one.
Did you stop using Spurzel because they were problematic? I recently got a bad set.
Man, I love Ron Spurzel, and I don't want to say anything bad about his tuners.
I don't think people really got them, like that whole.
Yeah. How about this? What I can tell you is that we switched to Hipshot and have not had any problems with them at all, ever. Is that a way for me to say without saying?
Yeah, I think
You know what?
so.
I can say it. Yeah, we had some issues with Spurzel. And I love Ron and all of those guys. They were so nice to us, and they were there when we first started. I think some of the problems could be that all of the screw machines and all of the tooling that those guys used back in the 70s was awesome back in the 70s. And they didn't upgrade it necessarily. It sure seems like all the neat shit that they had in the late 70s and early 80s kind of got less neat. Mm-hmm. Any patents that they had
Listen,
on the way that
nothing
the
since the 80s is neat.
Okay, thank you. Can we just go? So any of the patents that they had have expired, and you can find locking hardware now that has the same little pushy post thing. And I loved working with Spurzels. The hip shots are so much easier to work with, though.
Yeah, I think that was one of the main reasons that we switched was installation was just so much easier. And a lot of the problem with the Spurzels wasn't that we were getting bad sets. It was there's
Very inconsistent, like the way that little post.
well, yeah,
kind of would-
and the installation of those things was sort of difficult.
Yeah.
And the new ones are much easier and they feel better. And people weren't overly jazzed that we were using Spurzel.
No.
It wasn't like it was a selling feature.
No.
You know, we thought it would be, but it didn't. It wasn't really. And there were a couple people that actually kind of bitched about
that we had Spurzels.
I don't like
yeah.
these. They don't feel that good.
Yeah.
And we switched them to the Hipshot ones. And
So
they
with
loved them,
with
so.
apologies to Ron, we switched to Hipshot, and I don't see any reason to go back. All the Hipshot, or I'm sorry, all the Spurzels that we've used that were on guitars that have gone out have worked just fine.
Oh, yeah.
But we have some Spurzels that we didn't put on guitars.
We got one bad one and one
like in a
sorta
set,
bad
you'd
one.
get a chunk. Yeah.
So anyway,
Um,
yeah.
Did you ever see the locking tuners that Paul Reed Smith originally used? They were Schaller machines that he ground a a flat in, and then had this sleeve that would go on there, and it would kind of pinch the string.
Oh, okay.
They were pretty neat. I had them on my 80 whatever mine was.
Cool.
So I hope that answers your question. Is there any more before we move on to the topic at hand?
Go for it.
Has anyone got any more New Year's resolutions? No?
I'm just gonna stay awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Why? Are you mad because I cut you off? Okay.
I'm mad because you cut me off.
When?
Michael Chapman says I like the hip shot tuners on the grease slapper.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. One of we decided to use the hip shot tuners with the class guitars, and I think that was a great idea.
Yeah.
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 And I think it's cool too that you can get the hip shots are available with lots of different backs and fronts, and you can switch out the machines real easy. It's just
Yeah.
it's just an easy thing to do.
And tuners are, there's enough other stuff going on with the guitar. You shouldn't have to sweat tuners.
Yep. All right, moving forward. Let's talk about guitar collectors and their collections.
Okay.
Ready?
Sure.
Guitar collectors are a strange breed. So strange that other guitar collectors sometimes have no idea what the fuck they're collecting and why they're collecting it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I've got some Patreon questions here and some Patreon comments about guitar collectors and their collections. So let's jump right in. Remember,
Okay.
guys, if you're a Patreon member, you can. We always answer your questions in the Sunday afternoon happy hour live stream. And if you want to get in on that, please go over to our Patreon page and consider becoming a member. So let's jump right in. John Meehan says, what is the qualifications for a collectible guitar? Vintage, popularity, or does it speak to the player collector? What are the key ingredients? Ready, go.
I think people collect guitars. There's collectible
Remember,
guitars.
like we said, when like guitar collectors are so strange, other guitar collectors might not even be able to
there's
say.
collectible guitars, and then there's people that collect guitars.
One of the things that you say a lot about collectible guitars is there's vintage,
Uh-huh.
and then there's just old.
Uh-huh.
And that's where like the vintage means collectible,
Yeah.
and old means just,
Like that bug guitar.
the bug guitar.
Remember that guitar you bought?
Oh,
And
the
it was
bug
all bugs?
guitar,
It's
yeah.
gross.
Yeah,
Well,
that
that
was both.
That was like it was a jazz master, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was vintage and gross. Gross isn't a category though that we're talking about.
But what if you had a guitar collection fetish that was, I want the skeeviest, cruddiest guitars,
I think I've seen some of those.
like collections of like this
Well, there's
junk.
yeah,
craptastic guitars?
Uh-huh. Yeah, like I'm gonna fix this up someday. Collections.
We've talked about vintage guitars that have been adulterated by previous owners,
Yeah.
and otherwise fuckified to where they're not
Uh-huh.
the same anymore.
Yeah,
and,
uh-huh.
and how wouldn't that be a cool collection to have these dicked up
Fuckified collection.
abortions of guitars that
Oh, God
whoever did that,
damn.
they're gonna smoke a turd in hell for the
Yeah. Well, there's a point in which a guitar is just old and nobody wants it, so you might as well modify the hell out of it.
And I think back in the 70s
learn
and,
how
and
to do
early
it.
80s,
Yeah.
some of those guitars that were like,
Uh-huh.
well, this is just, no one's going to want this. I'll just start hacking on it.
Yeah. Let's put a Floyd and a humbucker in this '57 Strat.
Or let's
Or
let's
whatever.
put a great big sheet of plastic on this Kramer Koa body and route it for something with like a drill and a butter knife and a hammer.
Yeah.
I had one of those.
Lack
once.
of tools isn't going to hold me back.
No.
Yeah.
So
I think we're getting off topic.
yeah. So
What certifies a guitar as collectible?
I think vintage and popularity has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I think so. I think rarity
Mm-hmm.
has something to do with it. But once again, I think there are a lot of people that have a huge guitar collection of really, really cheap guitars. So
That's true, too. We
you
know a couple of those
the
guys,
quantity over quality kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
And so
Well, yeah, no one I know can afford to have one, $250,000 guitar,
Right.
much less a dozen or more. Of
yeah.
them, so
But like we were talking about earlier too, those first Eddie Van Halen hand pinstriped or hand striped, most of those went into collections that never got played.
Yeah, I think that if you can, if there is a, what do they call that when you have certification that this, that Jimi Hendrix pissed on this Marshall or
yeah,
certificate.
certificate of authenticity.
Yeah, no, it's like it starts with a P. Well, anyway, maybe if Andrew St. Pierre's watching, he's a wordsmith. He knows
Well,
what I'm
Andy
talking
the
about.
Saint says that Joe Bonamassa has an incredible collection, but he lives to show it off while crapping on commoners who follow him and simply ask questions.
He does? Joe
don't know about
Bonamassa
the-
does?
I don't
What
know
a
if that's
dick.
true or not, but I
Yeah.
like saying bad
I
things
have
about
a Joe Bonamassa
Yeah.
story.
I don't mind spreading rumors about Joe Bonamassa. Oh, what's your Joe Bonamassa story?
Well, I thought we'd talk about it later when we were talking about other collectors.
Is it like your
and stuff.
car
No,
story?
it's an actual story.
Oh, okay.
Although
so-
it didn't happen to me.
Andy the Saint says Providence.
Providence.
Providence?
Thank you, Andy. I
That
knew
doesn't
you.
sound
I
like a
knew you
word.
would know. Okay, so Don V says, I like things that are more in the unique to custom range. I've got a couple of Gibson Les Pauls and a couple Flying V's. Yada yada. I've got a Gibson Reverse Explorer. That was the guitar of the month. Remember when Gibson did like that? Every month they had some kooky guitar and
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
man, he's got like all kinds of different things that he collects.
Yeah.
Jason Becker's Kickstarter for his latest album was signed by Jason and his thumbprint. Joe Satriani, Sammy Hagar. He says that his POU is pure self-gratification. His aspirations of being a rock star died in the early 90s when a career sadly became a requirement. I hear you. Let's see. I was lucky enough to have a few conversations with Steve Ripley before he died last year. Sadly, like me, his memories of the 80s were fuzzy at best, and his relationship with Kramer was rather whirlwind and slapdash. I don't know who Steve Ripley is. Do you know who that is?
No.
Don, if you're watching, let me know who Steve Ripley is. I'm sure it's someone I ought to know who it is, but I don't. Yeah, having guitars that were owned by celebrities are really cool. Let's go back to that Eddie Van Halen thing. You guys remember a while ago, the EVH brand brought out the exact replica of the Frankenstrat or whatever they call it. And remember, they were like, we had a hell of a time getting these Delaware quarters from 1978, so it would be exactly like that. And I think they made 25 or however many they made.
You had a
and they
hard
were-
time finding 25 Delaware quarters, of which they made 8 gazillion.
I guess they did. I don't know. I don't know how. Don't ask me how the
Sounds like a
circulation
story
of money
just
works.
to add to the.
But remember,
Yeah,
like they
but
were perfect in every detail. And I even saw a thing where Eddie Van Halen was looking at this was like he was like high on something. Yeah. And he had the real one, and he was looking at one of the copies, and he's like, I can't tell the difference, man. So I had to write on the back of my neck, this is the real one. So if you had one of those ones that the EVH company sold for $25,000, and it didn't say this is the real one in Eddie Van Halen Sharpie marker on the back, all of a sudden is that not worth the same amount? Like, I think that what they should do is have for $1,000 a year, like, because if Eddie Van Halen gets a new ding on the original, yours won't have that same ding in the same spot. You have to send it in, and they'll like do the annual updates of dings
ding it.
and markers and shit glued onto it, and
Yeah.
so you have the real deal. You know what I mean? Oh, here's another question: if you have a custom relic guitar and you get a scratch in it, is it worth more or less?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And how do you tell that a relic guitar is in excellent condition?
Yeah, excellent condition relic.
You look at the back of the neck, because the necks are never dinged up.
Oh, that
But
reminds me.
anyway.
Jim Fuller posted a picture of like, I guess you can buy like this Eric Clapton Les Paul. Aaron Claflin.
Aaron Claflin.
He's got
Yeah, I
some
know
you
that
can
guy.
buy some Les Paul, and it's got Grovers on it, but it doesn't have the original tuner holes drilled in like the indentation of the original Clousons.
Yeah.
And then they pull them off and then put Grovers on.
Right.
Which you probably ought to. And he's like, what's wrong with this picture? And I'm like, the headstock isn't broken. Personally, if you have a Gibson relic guitar or an artificially aged Gibson, I think all the necks should be broken and repaired. That should just be part of the whole Gibson thing.
Yeah.
So
That sounds right.
anyway, were there any questions so far? Or can we move on?
No.
All right,
I don't
moving
think
forward.
so.
Michael Arthur Klassen writes, my POU, playing guitar since my 16th birthday, building guitars, playing bass guitars, banjo, mandolin, piano. Yeah, we get it. You rock. Never missed a day. It's what's got me through the years. And then he goes on to say all the things that he plays. I could tell you a lot, but the POU is simple. It's what keeps me going on good days and bad days.
And what is the PLU?
POU.
POU?
Philosophy of use.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, is that okay? So yeah, I think that's something that draws people who collect stuff together, and doesn't universally push them apart. Is that they all love the thing.
Mm-hmm.
They love guitars. Guitar collectors love. Well, maybe there's some of those guys who just do it as an investment. You
Yeah,
know what I
there's
mean? And
lots
want to
of
sell
those
sunglasses
guys.
like Joe Bonamassa.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to work Joe Bonamassa back in.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So you'll tell your
Yeah.
Joe
Somebody
Bonamassa
called
story.
Joe Bonamassa. Wait, where is
Somebody
it?
called
The
Joe
Michael
Bonamassa.
Bublé of the
He's the
blues.
Michael Bublé.
Ah!
That's a shot to Michael Bublé.
Well, he sucks too.
All right, fine.
I don't know. I don't know from Michael Bublé. All right. Kaden Luttrell. Question, unrelated to theme, are there bands that post on YouTube that play Texas Toast guitars? Would love to see them in action during a gig.
Goes up.
Funny you should ask. So there are several. The Aquasonics, that's Chris's band. Chris plays
We
a
have
Texas
some-
Toast guitar.
some
There's probably a
videos.
video up there.
With me playing them, yeah.
My band Hawk Attack. There's several videos on YouTube of Hawk Attack playing Texas Toast guitars. If you Throttle Bomb and Messiah Vor, I think that's Bart's praise
Majestic's
band.
8-track revival.
Hold on, wait, I'm not done yet. So Bart plays, and his wife Jen also plays a Texas Toast bass. As Carrie Ann posted, or as Mrs. Toast pointed out, Mr. Majestic's 8-track revival. Jeff LaQuatra, my good dear friend, plays not only one of our Texas Toast challengers, but the very first double neck that Texas Toast made. So if you check out Mr. Majestic 8-track revival, that will be one.
Born Ready.
That's right. Chris and Brett from the Born Readies record and play Texas Toast guitars. They're up there. Yeah, there's a lot of people who play, and you can see if you're in the Denver area, it's certainly easy to rock out.
Some
with
guy in Germany plays one, and some other guy in Australia
That's
plays one.
there. Yeah.
and
Yep.
I don't know their band names.
I
Oh,
don't-
Gozo,
I don't
you
either.
had your in there.
That's right. Mark from
professionally-
Gozo has a video where he's playing one of the early
Great.
Gibson style guitars that I put together for him. So yeah, there's a bunch out there.
Tokyo Rodeo.
Tokyo Rodeo. Thank you. Yeah, it's hard to catalog everyone because I'm gonna miss somebody and they're gonna go, "Hey, you didn't say the name of my band."
Hillbilly Demons was
Hillbilly Jim and the Wild Ones, Johnny Chaunchpad and the Chaunch Padders.
Choncharoos.
Terrific. So Caden's actual question is, he says, or his comment, I'd consider myself more a guitar hoarder than a collector. Nothing I have is worth anything.
Yeah.
A Texas Toast guitar should be my first. But what should my second nice guitar be to start my collection? I would say go with somebody big. Anything from Gibson or Fender is going to be good.
Yeah.
If you want something rad, though, I would say anything made out of a material that's not wood. Travis Bean, the Kramers with the aluminum necks, or my all-time favorite, Dan Armstrong would be good. What would you
What
have?
if Dan Armstrong made an acrylic body with an aluminum neck?
Oh,
You'd
wouldn't
plots.
that be? I would plots.
Yeah. You'd drop.
Dan Armstrong did make several guitars that weren't clear.
Yeah, the black
The
ones.
company they made some
Yeah.
of the black plastic ones, and then in the 80s and 90s you could buy wood shaped Dan Armstrongs, and I had a couple of those, and they were cool too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it for Patreon questions.
That's it for Patreon
Yeah.
questions. Somebody said that selling the guitar. Dang it.
All right, Chris talking. Take 2.
Yeah. The guitars I used to own keep me from selling the guitars I have now.
That is an excellent point. As you get older, you have a little more discretionary income, and the ones that you're like, man, I should have never sold that. You can't necessarily get back all the time, but
Yeah.
man, it's nice to keep the ones you got.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know because you're like the opposite of a guitar hoarder.
Well,
You keep
for
it and
long
play it for a
time
while,
now,
then get rid of them.
For a while, I was kind of a guitar hoarder, and I would buy and sell a lot of guitars, but I would also keep a lot of the guitars I was supposed to sell.
Okay.
For a while.
Oh, you would buy them to flip, and then
Yeah,
you'd be like,
and
I'm
then be
keeping
like,
this.
looks
fucker."
kind of neat. I like it. And so at one time I had like 30-some guitars.
Wow.
And a
Maybe
ton
knocking
of
them bitches
amps
like
and
getting shit.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I had a lot of stuff, and I slowly started. One day I wrote it all down and wrote what it was worth, and sat there and went, would I rather have the money or would I rather have the guitars?
Yeah.
And I kind of would rather have the money. So
Okay.
so
What'd
I
you do
started
with the
selling
money?
them off. I did all sorts of stuff with the money.
Like, what's one thing?
Just lived on it for a while.
So yeah,
But
because it would be me. It'd be like, well, I bought like some sandwiches and a beer.
yeah,
and,
well,
oh,
yeah, and I
fuck.
did some of that.
Yeah, computer.
I bought my cool Buick with.
That's
That's
right.
kind of where it started. Is I sold a couple of expensive ones and bought the Buick, and it was, in some ways, it was somewhat cathartic to get rid of some of that stuff, you know, and just keep the stuff that you really, because you can only play one at a time. And there were times when I would feel guilty for not playing a guitar that I had. You know, oh, I haven't played that one in a while. Better play it, because they're made to be played.
That brings me around to something that I wanted to get to in this live stream about. Will you guys stop over there like kvetching? What is it? Stop it!
Kibutzing?
You're bugging me. So one of the things I want to talk about when it comes to guitar collectors is that some collectors like to have shit that just stays on the wall, and some guys like to have stuff that is like, shut the fuck up. Some guys like to have stuff that they can play all the time. What are your thoughts on that? Like, if you had stuff that was like just on the wall, it's just
Yeah.
sitting there. Should it? If it's just going to be on the wall, does it matter if the truss rod's adjusted properly? Does it matter if it's intonated? Who gives a fuck, right? Because
Yeah. So all my stuff was on the wall or on a stand or
Okay.
available for playing at any point.
So if you go into like Dr. Blue's DDS,
Uh-huh.
and he's got
Yeah.
a super expensive something on the wall,
Yeah.
it's in a case.
Yeah, it's just a waste of a guitar.
Does it matter? Yeah, does it matter if the
no.
if the neck is stable? Does it? I mean,
Yeah,
doesn't
and
really?
it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I don't.
you know?
I don't either.
The
It's
guitar
so-
wants to be played.
I think so too.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I don't understand those kinds of collections.
Okay, what about this? What if you spent lots of time and lots of money? You have this awesome collection. You keep it ready to go, but you only play it every so often because you have so many and you can only play one at a time.
Well,
And you have a job that gives you the opportunity to have really expensive guitars.
yeah, I mean, if that floats your boat, that's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, part of the fun of it was finding them, fixing them, or making them play better.
Okay.
I like to think that everything that's left my possession is better off for me having owned it.
What about guitar collectors who aren't collectors? They have one guitar and that's it. This
don't
is
know
my
anybody.
guitar. This is my.
I don't know anybody like that.
I don't either, but it's funny. Like Stevie Ray had a ton of guitars,
Yeah.
but he had that one beat the fuck one that he played all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe he had multiples of those, and they just looked the same. Does anybody know? Let me know.
I think he just had the one, and he had several other guitars that he played too.
Yep. Yeah, like if
that
he-
was the number one, and
hence
he had,
the
number
name.
two, and Lenny,
Yeah.
and blah
Numero
blah blah.
dos.
But yeah, but I think he had a lot of other stuff, and he probably played a lot of other stuff
Yeah.
when he wasn't on stage.
Didn't you say that your favorite Stevie Ray performance, he had a Guild 12-string acoustic?
Yeah, on Unplugged.
Unplugged.
Like
Yeah.
MTV Unplugged.
MTV Unplugged. Yep, I tuned in to watch Joe Satriani and Stevie Ray Vaughan came out and killed it, and Joe
Satriani sucked it. Did he? I don't.
Pretty much, yeah. As far as I was concerned.
So tell us your Joe Bonamassa story and make it good. Too.
Okay.
Embellish as much as
So
you
people
want.
bitch about Joe Bonamassa, but I have an acquaintance in Virginia that was selling a nice Fender. I think it was a Bandmaster, like a 62 Bandmaster
Okay.
amp, head, and 212 cabinet, and he was trying to sell it on this forum, but he also had it on his local Craigslist.
Okay.
And everybody was telling him, mainly this one guy was telling him, your price is too high, they don't go for that, blah blah blah. And he's like, well, it's a really nice one, I'm open to offers,
Yeah.
whatever. Well, he gets a call from somebody, and they're like, hey, I represent Joe Bonamassa. We're going to be in your town next week. Is the amp still available? Joe would like to buy it. we're offering you your full price, 2 tickets to the show, bring the amp down, and we'll square the deal.
Did it include a pair of the Joe Bonamassa signature sunglasses?
I don't believe it did, but so he went down. They went early, went backstage, blah blah blah. Joe Bonamassa checked out the amp, played through it, loved it, was thrilled to death to get it, and they said he couldn't have been nicer. The whole thing couldn't have gone any smoother. So
I thought this was going to be a Joe Bonamassa.
No.
Joe Bonamassa's a turd story.
No, I think
that's actually a Joe Bonamassa's a good guy story.
And I think he probably mostly is. I've watched some of his videos, and he's
a regular guy.
Yeah, he's pretty much a regular guy. I think there's a lot of jealousy because
I
he
think
can
that's a lot of
afford
it. Yeah.
all of that cool shit, and he has a ton of cool shit.
Yeah.
So good for him. And in a lot of ways, I think he's investing in that stuff going up in the future. He likes buying it. He has the money to buy it, and it'll probably work out for him in the end.
Let me ask you a Joe Bonamassa related question.
Is the question, have you ever heard a Joe Bonamassa album? Because I will. No.
I was gonna.
I actually went to a Joe Bonamassa
That's
show
right.
at
Mrs.
Red
Toast went to a
Rocks.
Joe Bonamassa. I was gonna say, can you name one Joe Bonamassa song? I can't.
Well, no, he plays other people's songs.
Does he? Okay, yeah. I don't know from Joe Bonamassa. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I don't know. Well, that's a cool story though, and I like how people on some forum are like, that's too much. You're never gonna get it, dude. Fuck off, forum dickweeds. Forums are a complete fucking waste of time, everybody.
You're just saying that because you've been kicked off all of them.
I have been kicked off of them, and they are a fucking waste of time. So, would you want to be a member of any forum that would have you as a member? Just saying.
I'm awesome.
What forums are you a member of? Exactly.
I don't need a fucking forum.
Exactly. What else we got here?
Yeah, there's lots of talk and from 66 until 2016, I only had 1 electric and 1 acoustic.
Who's that?
Lonnie
Mack.
Samarippa.
How many guitars did Lonnie Mack have? That one Flying V with that kooky Bigsby thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had way more.
That seems like a guitar that you could have multiples of, though.
No one would necessarily know.
So.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God.
You're making a face.
You're gonna love this.
Okay.
So, Mike Chambers said that Joe Bonamassa went on what he called guitar safari as a kid with his dad, and that's when his collecting.
Get 2, Chris.
Okay.
3, Chris.
So guitar safari. First of all, there's no such thing as guitar safari, photo safari, hot dog safari. There's none of that shit.
Safari?
Surfing safari. It's not a thing. People use the term safari incorrectly all the time, and that's a pet peeve of mine. But
Sounds like you're gonna love this.
Yeah, I remember like when people are talking about the photo safari. First of all, if you don't kill something, there's no fucking safari. That's just part of the deal. So yeah.
Sorry they used it wrong.
Yeah.
How dare they?
How dare the Beach Boys?
No, not them.
Oh.
Like photo safari or whatever.
Yeah, and the other thing is if you just go out in the afternoon and take pictures of critters, that's not a fucking safari. Safaris last for months. Anyway, not everybody gets that. And the term has been watered down to include things like surfing safari. Are you a fan of the Beach Boys, or are you a fan of surf? Okay.
Absolutely.
What? So it was like 3 brothers, a cousin, and some friends.
And a friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't. Yeah, that's about all I know about the Beach Boys. I mean, I've heard the songs.
There you go. Yeah.
What's your favorite Beach Boys album?
Beach Boys Today.
What's one of the songs on that?
That one has "Help Me Rhonda" on it.
Okay,
It
I was about to go
has,
boop, 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 boop.
"Dance, Dance, Dance." It has
Like Big Rhonda from the 70s.
yeah. "Help Me Big Rhonda."
Help
from
me,
the 70s
Big
show.
Rhonda from that was a good show.
Yeah,
though.
it's great. It's a really good
You didn't
album.
like that
it's
show?
It's the one. It's 2 albums before Pet Sounds, but it has a lot of that kind of. It's
What's the
first
one where they were like kind of like cartoon people, or they were like just drawings of them, and it was like
Yellow Submarine.
no. It was
Thinking of a Scooby Doo.
no. It was the album was like the one guy had like a big beard.
Endless Summer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a compilation, and that
Okay.
brought them back in the 70s. I think that came
Gotcha.
out in 74, and
Because I remember,
all of a sudden they were
listening to
huge
that
again.
in a van in the '70s on the way to Disney World.
Yeah, yeah.
Disneyland. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
And
that.
yeah, because like those are classic songs that you just gotta know if you are an American.
Yeah.
You need to have at least heard.
Yeah,
that
and that's
shit.
I think a lot of what brought that back was
Yeah.
America's Band. That's when the whole America's Band started, and then they played the July 4th White House thing and blah blah blah.
Cool.
Or, not White House.
Cool.
Yeah, whatever.
But I'm sorry, but it's not a
I
surfing
don't
safari.
really
There's no
need,
such thing as a surfing
comments
safari.
from the
Somebody's-
peanut gallery
somebody's
and
not afraid of that.
giggling and all that shit when I'm talking.
Yeah.
I wasn't kidding.
I get around. Yeah, get
I'm just
around.
sitting here being all
Uh-huh,
nice
yeah,
and awesome.
Sometimes I'll look over and Chris will be like humming that song to himself. Round, round, get around. I get around. Yeah.
I like to do the high parts when I'm all by myself. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like filing or sanding or
A
painting.
little dance. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like Marky Mark in that movie where he was in that movie with Marky Mark. Shut your ass. All right, what's up?
Good God, my God.
I'm talking to Karen, not you.
But still, really? So,
Karen
all right.
loves it.
Looks like Duck Dynasty making guitars.
I'm
We
thinking
got a little
about
ways to go.
losing the beard.
Yeah.
I'm tired of looking like a total dirtbag. I want to look like half a dirtbag.
Yeah. I'm surprised at how much comment I get from the beard. Like last night, all sorts
Wait a
of
minute.
stuff.
What you said was
My
comment
beard.
from the beard.
No,
Hey,
about
Chris,
the
I
beard.
enjoy being
Yeah.
your beard.
I'm so happy you're growing me. About the beard.
So, like, who said
Comments.
something? Carrie, I'll kick their
Lots
ass.
of people said
It depends on what they said.
and I wear my flannel shirt and everybody's like,
You look like a lumberjack.
yeah, you look like it's like all of a sudden I've been wearing that damn shirt for like 20 years. And all of a sudden it's everybody's
Yeah.
talking about my flannel shirt and it's because I have the dumb beard.
All right, let me ask you.
Anyway,
When are you going to shave the beard? Because I'll shave too.
I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you this. Are you going to remember that time you shaved your beard last time and you came in with the Anchorman mustache?
Yeah, no.
We should just have mustaches for one live stream.
Maybe, we could maybe do that if we do.
That would be
and when-
hilarious.
You have to wear like a jacket and a tie. You have to be all Ron Burgundy out.
The Ron Burgundy hippie is what I'll look like.
Well, yeah. So I've done the Paul Tuttle for a day before.
Oh, I
and then
love
I've
that,
Done
yeah.
I've done the Anchorman, and the Anchorman's.
You could do
even
that. You
worse.
could pull the
It's so
Dwayne Allman
creepy.
off. Super. We just have like just this, the mustache that goes into the sideburns, but nothing here.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
I tell you what, guys, Chris and I, when we shave the beards, we'll do it in stages on the live stream. How about that?
You did that one time where it was there were like 3 or 4 little 15-second snippets.
Oh,
of you
yeah.
shaving and doing things, and then you ended up as Doc Holliday, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
All of you can
no,
kiss my rebel dick. I
I
think.
think
it-
you
Yeah.
ultimately ended up with the Eddie Murphy little like.
Flavor saver.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's what we'll do when we're ready to shave. But yeah, I'm kind of done with the beard. I think.
Bebo
Are you?
65 has a good question.
All right, Bebo.
Wants to know why you got kicked off all the guitar forums.
Probably because I went on there and said, "Hey, I make these things. Do you want to buy them?" And that was tacky of me, but I don't know.
I think
Or
you
I
also-
would post videos, and in the video it would say, "Hey, if you want this." In fact, I know that's what it was. Because I wouldn't go on a forum and be like, "Hey, buy this shit from me." I'd be like, "Hey, everybody, check out my video." It was when I was trying to grow the YouTube channel more, or originally, I mean. And in the videos, there would always be like calls to action for like if you want to join Patreon, if you want to buy this thing, and that was probably not allowed on the forums.
Yeah.
That and my controversial views on Vietnam.
I think you also didn't take. They would like warn you about.
Oh, yeah, fuck that,
because you don't pull any punches, and they would warn
Especially
you
on the
when you-
internet. I'm
you
really internet tough.
double down, and
Yeah, oh,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
was that.
I remember once I posted something in the Les Paul forum about something, and it was fairly benign. And Bruce Bennett got all over me for it, and he's like, "Well, if you want me to tell you how to do this shit, you can just call." So I called him. Had a nice like hour-long conversation with him.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Richard Ryan's here,
Hey, Rickard.
and he is piquing my interest in some story that I don't think I've heard of.
Okay, is it about his guitar that's right
No.
there? Okay.
No, it's tell them about the Charles Manson CAC badge at NOAA you used, and none of the security guards
Okay.
had to ask you about it.
When I worked at NOAA, I worked at NOAA not that long ago, but many years ago, I I had hair and a beard that looked very much and peculiarly like Charles Manson in one of his pictures. So we kept our badges in these like little, things on the plastic sleeve, and on the I didn't falsify my badge. I falsified my sleeve. So where when you put the badge in the sleeve, the picture was on the outside of the sleeve, and it was a picture of Charles Manson. And I could pull the badge out and it'd be my picture, but I would slide it in. It would look like my badge had a picture of Charles Manson, and so that's what he's talking about there. So yeah. And it was like a black and white picture that like I photocopied and like taped on the badge, and none of the security guards said anything about it. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't even notice, but yeah.
Well, you worked there forever. They just knew you.
Yeah.
So, well, that wasn't nearly as exciting as
I think it was funny because like I probably could have gotten into trouble for it, but I
You
didn't.
might still.
You never know. What are they gonna do? Fire me
Lay you
again?
off?
Yeah.
So here's an interesting concept with guitar collections and guitar collectors and collecting things in general that I think a lot about. And this is kind of proven to be true with some other like guitar collections. People, so you buy a lot of guitars and you have this huge collection of guitars, and then you die.
Yeah.
And then what happens to your guitars? They get, dispersed again.
I don't know.
And then what happens after those people have them?
I've often wondered about that in different industries. Like after a while, like sometimes like all the neat shit gets bought up and you don't see it at shows anymore. So like if you went to a guitar show in the 90s, there'd probably be a lot of X guitar. And now you don't see them because they were all bought up. But yeah, eventually these guys start to die off, and what happens to those guitars? That's a great question. I don't know.
Well, and there's going to be and that stuff's going to
Auctions?
start coming back onto the market.
Are there like
And there's-
auction houses that like specialize in musical instruments?
I don't think there's anybody that does specifically, but there are auction houses that do a ton of.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and there's been lots and lots of auctions, and there's been celebrities that have or famous musicians that have died, and their stuff has gone up for auction.
And even celebrities and famous musicians that are still alive auction their stuff off. Like
Yeah.
didn't the David Gilmour something or another get
Yeah,
$1 million?
I think, and
It all goes to charity, and that's cool.
yeah, and in some ways there's kind of this burgeoning I don't need all this shit kind of idea that people are going through, and
Like say you want to move into a tiny house.
yeah. Or
Hey, it looks
at
like we
least
got a
smaller
super
house.
chat
Oh, did we
question.
get a
Let's
super
answer
chat?
that. Yeah, right there.
Ken Tipton, no question,
Just
$5
$5.
Ken Tipton is the man.
Yep.
Ken supports us on Patreon, and we've done a little bit of work for him.
Oh, I think Ken Tipton's question is, why are you guys so damn cool?
Why are you so
I think
handsome?
that's what it says right here. Yep.
I don't
Yep.
know how to answer that.
We just are, man.
Yeah, genetics.
Someone asked you to post a link earlier for the Patreon page.
Oh, okay. I will do that in the comment section below after this is all done. But if you are interested in going over to Patreon, you just go to Patreon and then / Texas Toast Guitars. You'll find us there. We've gotten a couple new Patreon members this month, and that's excellent.
Yeah.
If you are a Patreon member who has not gotten your shirt yet, I am going to be doing an order coming up, and I will post something on Patreon asking you to send me your 1, shirt size, and B, address, so I don't have to look it up. But that's coming in the next few days. So,
Yeah.
moving forward. What else we got,
Okay,
Chris?
so D. Riddle.
I'm building your neck tomorrow.
He said, I'm looking forward to adding a Texas Toast guitar. He's coming through Denver in October.
Oh, cool.
And
He said that
said-
as soon as he saves up his frankincense and myrrh, he wants to have a Texas Toast guitar.
Well, he said he's saving money for the trip to Westminster. It's really not that far. I can actually come pick you up. You don't
Yeah.
have to save
If you buy a Texas Toast guitar, Mrs. Toast will buy your plane ticket.
Luckily, none of my credit cards have that name on
Uh-huh.
them. So, yeah. Let's find her and her credit card.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we need
I
to
like
get
Linda
to?
says we are merely caretakers of guitars.
You know what? I absolutely agree. And
too.
and I think too, I say this a lot. Anyone who buys or owns a Texas Toast guitar really doesn't own it. They're just the custodian of that guitar. They're all mine. All of those guitars are mine.
When you're done with it, send it back.
Yeah.
We'll
Can you own? I mean, you can't.
be sending out notices. Sorry.
I was gonna say you can't own the 16th chapel, but you can't. It's not a thing. But you can't own like it's stuff. Some of that stuff belongs in a museum, and maybe one day, the guitars that you and I make will be in a guitar.
That's what Andy
museum.
the Saint was saying earlier.
And we'll go on
maybe
Guitar
someday
Safari.
People will be chiming for the pre-shop.
Maybe.
Someone
guitars.
offered up a strip club safari, which, by the way, is the League of the Extraordinary Gentlemen's Club.
A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen's Club. Are they in Denver? Do they want to go to? Do they want to go to the Players Club? By the way, Chris and I drove by the Paper Tiger, and it's closed. It now says like Strip Bar X, and there's a big dumpster out in front. And I'm like, oh, they're
That
not
sounds
gonna.
about right.
We're hoping they fix it up.
We're hoping
especially like on the Monday afternoon shift.
The Tuesday afternoon shift
Stretch
at the
Mark
Paper
Tuesday.
Tiger was awesome,
Stretch
and it was
Mark Tuesday.
sweatpants Tuesday.
Oh, Captain Sweatpants coming.
And we were at Austin Hardwoods, and we drove by, and we're like, no, yeah.
It's been at least
Since you've been in there, I think it's
yeah,
been a long time
It's
since
been a
then.
long time.
Did you
And
get
the
a
only
face
time-
dance when you were there?
No, the only reason we went there was like on a goof. It was like the
Yeah.
beginning of a really enjoyable night with a bunch of friends and like
I suspect that if you had $100, you could do just about anything you wanted there.
probably.
I have a sneaking suspicion.
We'd always go with like if some girl is like, I've never been to a strip bar. Oh well, let's all go and
Everyone
This
should
was
take,
not-
that'll be where we start.
Yeah.
everyone should take a girl with them to the strip bar.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get
Absolutely.
a lot more attention.
But if you're not from the Denver area, or if you haven't been to the Paper Tiger, it's not like the Motley Crue video, guys. It's
No.
yeah. I remember one time I was there with Brett and Magic Mike, and someone in a really thick Russian accent said to Brett, "You could be most important guy of whole shift." And I think it was a chick. And there was a bunch of
it was
guys
a
in like
chick.
shiny suits with bulges in this area here. That
I
yeah.
don't want to hear about you looking at guys' bulges.
It was a bulge in the underarm area as where you would normally conceal let's say a Makarov in 9x18 millimeter if you were from the Eastern Bloc countries. Anyway, so moving right along.
One of the times that I was there,
No.
one of the girls came up to me and our little group and said, would any of you like a private dance?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody said no. And she said, well, would any of you like to buy me a hamburger?
Okay, here's a Paper Tiger story. I was
said no, and then later we looked over and she had a hamburger. And
I
she
was in the Paper Tiger one
going
time,
at it.
and the like the hostess lady, not the cake, but the lady who was like taking drink orders and stuff, says to one of the guys, "Hey, here, sit wherever you want. We'll be over to take your drink. If you see anyone you want a face dance from or a lap dance or whatever, just let him know." And he says, "I don't see anybody. Would you give me one?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." And like it was like boom, right there. It was on. So,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I think bartender is one of those jobs you get after you've been a dancer. A lot, or at least the hostess. Yeah, that position. I think.
I don't know. Maybe we'll never know.
Maybe somebody out there knows more
Maybe they're
than
gonna
we know.
ruin and
My,
gentrify the Paper
yeah.
Tiger and make it be lame and
My strip bar
nice.
stories are short on
Yeah,
content.
yeah. What else we got?
Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry.
Where?
So Andy the Saint says, I've never taken a woman to a strip bar, which I'm okay about. Dude, next time you go,
I can tell
take
you,
a chick with you. I'm
Mrs.
telling you.
Toast, Chris, Karen, myself are not okay with that, Andrew.
Maybe Mrs. the Saint isn't down with
Maybe.
going to a strip bar.
But maybe if Andy the Saint
we were
decides
all
to come
much
out and
younger
take one of
people.
our guitar classes one time, or just hang out with us for fun one time, we can go to the skeeviest, rottenest strip
The
joint.
bus stop closed down.
No, I love going to
Dandy
the bus stop.
Dan's? Yuck.
Dandy Dan's. Oh man.
Yeah, it's just right up the street.
Yeah, I don't know if Dandy Dan's is rottener or better than the Players Club, but they do
What's
have
the
a
one-
gluten-free option.
There's one
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night
Don't ask me
Live,
how I know.
Players Club, yeah.
And then
anyway.
Dandy Dan's. Yeah,
Mrs.
they're all-
Saint
I've
is
never been to
not down
Dandy
with
Dan's.
Mrs. Saint is not
It's
down
not
with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay, well, we don't want to get anybody in trouble.
No,
No.
totally not.
I mean, we do, but we aren't gonna.
But if you want to, I'll help you get into trouble. I'll totally be there for you if you change your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Andy, your guitar, by the way, is being shipped tomorrow morning. I got a
Yay!
case, and it's ready to go. It's a really nice case.
Is there going to be a reveal?
There's already been a
We
reveal
did a reveal.
on that one,
Yeah.
and everybody loved it. It's a totally awesome guitar. Now, nobody wants one, though, except Andy the Saint. It's probably going to be the one. It's a series one of one. I don't see making a lot more of them.
Yeah,
Do you?
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't. John Meehan has apparently been paying attention to us
Okay.
because he asks, gluten-free lap dance?
One day we decided how funny it would be to look up Yelp reviews of rotten strip joints,
Mainly the one down the street.
mainly the one down the street. And so
I
if
think
you
a yeast-free
if you
face dance would be
no.
really
So
what you want.
so if you come to Texas Toast Guitars to take a class or to hang out with us or whatever, we're not in the greatest part of town. This is an industrial neighborhood, so it's kind of in the
Sketchy.
armpit of Westminster, maybe. Anyway, it's a really great place, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And sometimes in the middle of nowhere, that's where the kind of rundown strip joints are. You know what I mean?
The Cheetahs, that's across the border. Remember that Catholic schoolgirl run?
Oh, see.
Oh,
this is-
man. This was the...
Well, so let me finish the story. So one night, it was after one of these live streams. We were looking up Yelp reviews for the strip joint down the street, and some of these things that people were asking were like obviously like 12-year-old kids were like, "Can we have sex with the girl?" Stuff like that. But one of them was, "Can I bring Can you bring an animal in, specifically a lizard or something like that?"
Maybe.
And one guy asked, "It looks like all you have to eat is popcorn. Are there any more gluten-free options?" Really? At the Players Club? That's a question that you need
There's
to.
no wheat in popcorn.
Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah,
Well, and
I
to
don't
be-
know from gluten-free. But
You know, I'll tell you straight up, they have a real good lunch special there.
you've heard.
That's what I've read on the sign.
Yeah, that's right.
I
They
read-
open at 11. I drive by that place every day, and they have a digital board, and yeah, they open at 11. They have a real good lunch special, and
As
really
good as
it's-
good as Jug Store Cowboys.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's free lunch because they charge you to get in.
Yeah, I
But
would
then
hope so.
my favorite
Lunch
thing that I
buffet.
recently read on the sign was after 2, they let people under 21 in, 18 to 21 in.
No, they can't
After
serve alcohol there.
0200,
Correct.
not
But then they can
1400.
go all nude.
topless
All
and
nude.
stopless.
You see every pore.
Yeah, but anyway,
I-
I thought, who is staying up until 2 a.m.
18-year-old kids? I don't know.
So they can go to the Players Club. Anyway,
I don't know. Maybe it works.
yeah, this is a great podcast.
We
And
should
then they
do
talked about
an
strip
all
joints for
strip
an
joint
hour.
podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe next week we'll do like a what's that dude I can't stand?
Oh, there's so many
Yeah,
of them. I don't
you're
know.
gonna have to narrow it down, Carrie Ann. Is it
Have
me?
you seen
Are
the
you
book
talking
of
about
the
me?
names of the people I want to punch in the face? The guy from the 1010 Wins, the Howard Stern.
You don't like Howard Stern either?
No, he's disgusting.
I think Howard Stern's hilarious.
But I said we get some strippers in here next week. And
I don't think we have that kind of scratch to throw at strippers. Anyway.
I don't.
what
know
about
that
a
we wanna
mandolin?
throw.
You have a whole, benefit. like
Well,
a
we do
charity.
have our nonprofit organization, A Mandolin for a Mandolin, and it helps at-risk over 18-year-old girls
to get mandolins.
to get musical instruments. Anyway,
Musical instruments. Yeah, it's people helping people.
feels so good. All right, what else we got? Are we ready to wrap this one up?
Yeah, I think we are. It's devolving into.
It's degenerated into what it normally degenerates into.
So it's a regular Sunday.
It's a
night.
regular Sunday night. So, guys, thanks for watching. We hope you had a great time. I'm looking forward to showing you guys some of the new stuff that's coming up this week. Have a great week if I don't see you until next Sunday. Chris, you got anything to add?
Party on.
Party on, Matt. Miss Toast, do you have anything to add?
No.
Karen, you got anything?
Be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to
Be
each other.
excellent.
So, guys, if you like stuff like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give us the thumbs up. Wait a minute. Give us the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. If you appreciate content like this, or if you want to ask questions for the next live stream, please go over to our Patreon page, which would be patreon.com, and then look for Texas Toast Guitars. And consider becoming a member. Even $1 a month goes a long way to helping us bring you guys cool stuff like this. If you can't do Patreon, though, as Mrs. Toast already pointed out, I've been kicked off of every guitar forum. So Share this video as often as you can, and the other videos too, and that would help us grow the channel that way. So until next time, we will see you next time. Until next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that life is short. You might as well have a cool guitar and build it yourself. If you're so smart, that's what I do. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday. Now what? We have to just sit
Now
here.
we have to. Yeah, we just sit here
Now
and
the old man has to
Peace
Forget.
out, bitches.
Push the button, Frank.
I got a lot of problem with you people.